Well, crap. My friend had complained about a squealing noise from this side ever since this bearing got done. And like I'm squealing from the brakes. And I noticed that this pad is quite a lot more worn than the outer pad. And you can see pretty clearly, as I can, that that boot is torn to hell. And we probably have got a bad caliper here. That is not good news. Well, I found more. That lower bit of hardware is not installed properly, so that's been wearing and no doubt making a horrible squealing sound. Disconnect the ABS cable from the clips on the brake hose. Come on, baby. Backed you off yesterday. There we go. Right. Ah, that's the wrong size. Ooh, that's loud. Oh, we got a whole bunch of little retaining clips on this rotor. Okay, you get the idea. It's safe to say that I think the rotor doesn't want to come off. That's not being very cooperative, so I'm going to hit it with a bit of penetrating fluid here. I have the luxury, I guess you could say, of a bit of time. If you could call it that. Lame and lazy today. New Year's Day, had the day off. Should have probably spent most of it working on the Ram here, but just couldn't get my butt in gear. So now it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm out here and gonna get cracking. Gotta get this thing done for my friend. So I guess first thing to do is start tossing some brakes together. Alright, it's time to put the new caliper on this side. I've just got the old caliper. I've crushed the pistons back. It's sitting on a box there. Just right there. And I've just got the rotor on here with some 1/2-inch washers and the lug nuts just to hold it in position so I'm not fighting it. Oh, I've got the tie rod still off. It just makes it easier to move around. I am going to install the new caliper and pads and everything, and then just kind of as quick as I can swap the hose over so that we lose as little fluid as possible and allow as little air in as possible, just to make it easier to bleed. So one thing of note that I did find on the other side is that the lower caliper slide pin was a little bit sticky, so I just pulled it out, buffed it up, a little bit of grease, good to go. I'm just going to mount the bracket just like I did on the other side, and then mount the caliper to the bracket. It's easy as it gets. These caliper adapter bolts are torqued to, well, the spec is 275 pound-feet. My torque wrench only goes 250, so I'm doing 250 and some more. They're not going anywhere, even at 250. You can see what those springs do. All right. These bolts, on the other hand, are torqued to a whopping 24 pound-feet. It's aftermarket, different size socket. These use a 17 mil socket. The OEMs are 16. That just doesn't seem right to me, but I'm not doing a lot, I guess. Okay, now we got to get this hose on here. Still finding U-joint bearing needle rollers all over the floor. In the interest of doing this as quickly as possible, losing the smallest amount of fluid and introducing the smallest amount of air, I'm going to do this as quickly as possible. So I've got the hose clamped off. I'm going to open the bleeder right away, so that, you know, we can let gravity do a bit of the work for us. And I'm going to use my impact to take off the old banjo bolt from the line. And I'm going to slap this on here as quick as I can. Unclamp it. So hopefully this all works out. Here we go. Off. Washers are stuck. Gone. New washer on the bolt. Come on, baby. Twist that line like so. Okay. New washer. I don't recall the torque spec offhand, but we'll sort that out after. Okay. This does not seem to want to go. Oh. Oh, dummy. Installing it wrong. What a dummy. There goes the... Goes like this. Well, at least it won't let you install it wrong. That's some good design right there. Design for dummies. Woo. Okay. Snug that up. Unclamp this and come on, baby. I don't remember how. There we go. We'll let that flow while I look up the torque spec. 25 pound-feet. There we go. Okay, bleeding time. Well, as soon as I opened the cap up top, fluid started pouring out of here, so we may be half bled already. Typically, being a one-man show, I have one of these silly little one-man brake bleeder setups. And basically you just put a little line to there, and you pump the brake, and that line is supposed to be attached inside there but isn't. So anyway, it pumps fluid into the bottle, and then the air escapes, and when you let go of the pedal, you know, it draws only fluid back in. But honestly, I've had mixed results with this. So I got to thinking, well, a vacuum pump, that's the way to go. You know, vacuum brake bleeder, but I don't have one. But I do have a vacuum gas oil extractor, and I thought, well, that's kind of more or less the same thing. So I figure if I go ahead and just build a vacuum on the bleeder here and then crack it, it should do much the same thing, am I right? I'm gonna try it. Let's see. I see bubbles coming out. I see lots of bubbles coming out. I think we're onto something. Okay, I'm going to pump the brake pedal a few times and see how she feels. Pull this off too. All right. Starting to build some pressure now. Yeah. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. At first we had almost no brake feel at all, but we're, you know, expanding our pistons and stuff. Let's carry on with this. I think we're good. And one other thing, if you've ever had to extract a broken bleed screw, you know where I'm coming from. These do have a torque spec. 14 pound-feet. That's all it needs. Don't overdo it. I'm going to top up the brake fluid, connect up the tie rods. All right, we are in the real home stretch now. Get your tie rod ends up into place. 21mm socket. 78 pound-feet. I'm gonna go torque up the other side, and then we can put wheels on this thing. Gotta air up that back tire and this front tire, and then we'll add some transmission fluid and change the fuel filter.
desert dust bowl song, where the billman will call you almost every week. Wait your bills to pay today, what's left in the fridge to eat. Where stars frame the night, born out of dreams, just close enough to give hope, but too